I thought this mission was impossible, until now. My viewers shared a strategy I never considered, destroying our own base to get the last 250 supplies we need to beat the mission. Suddenly, the impossible became possible. But how hard could this mission be? Well... As you saw, there are countless ways this mission can go wrong. Let's break down exactly how we can lose, splitting into RNG based and non-RNG. The most unpredictable element is Captain Cutter. For reasons unknown, he's got a hidden timer that determines how long we can go without a base. I don't know exactly when this timer is activated. During my testing, I do believe it activates once you get the first rhino into position. This timer has varied widely from 7 minutes to as long as 9 minutes. Since we have to demolish our base to get the last bit of supplies, we're racing against the clock. There's zero room for error. To put in perspective, the world record for this mission on legendary difficulty is 7 minutes and 26 seconds. So if we want to succeed at this challenge, we'll have to be nearly as fast as the world record before Captain Cutter gives us the mission failed screen. The second RNG issue is the attack RNG. We have to rely on Douglas the Spartan with a rocket launcher to deal enough damage. By moving him right after each shot, we can skip his reload time, giving us the firepower we need to clear out the Covenant's outposts and spare dropships. But here's the problem though, every single one of his attacks has a chance to miss, hit something else, or just slam into the ground. We need most of his shots to land, and if those buildings are not destroyed, it means a reset. Now onto the non-RNG parts. The biggest risk of failing the mission comes from not overlapping the dialogue correctly. When you position Rhino 2, you have to wait for a lengthy dialogue sequence to finish before Anders reveals the location of Rhino 3. However, if you purchase a Rhino immediately after positioning Rhino 2, you can actually overlap this dialogue and cause location 3 to be revealed almost instantly. This timing is crucial as it gives us extra time needed to complete the mission. Missing the dialogue skip generally means you won't have enough time to finish the mission, forcing a restart. The window for pulling off this dialogue skip is actually very small and easy to miss. Now, with this technique, you can actually do it for every Rhino, but you only need to do it for the third Rhino. Missing it for the first, second, or fifth Rhino isn't ideal, but it won't require a restart. The one time that we actually do not want to use the dialogue skip is for Rhino 3. The reason why is when you put Rhino 3 into its location, it will cause the buildings to spawn in at location 4 without enemies for a few seconds. Shortly after these few seconds, a cutscene will play, and this cutscene will spawn in 2 locusts. These locusts spawns in the same position every time, so if we have Alice and Jerome right next to these spawn points, we can easily hijack both locusts every time. During this time, Forge will have destroyed the third barracks. The second biggest threat to losing this mission is having the Rhino being destroyed. Now we understand what could go wrong, how are we going to overcome this challenge? After 10 hours of relentless grinding, coming up with strategies, banging my head against the table, I devised a consistent strategy that allows us to beat the hardest challenge I ever had. Once the mission starts, there are a few crucial steps we need to take. First, we need to deal with the initial Covenant attack as quickly as possible. While doing this, we will gather the nearby supplies with our Marines. Once the Covenant forces are handled, we'll immediately build Rhino 1 and send it to location 1. Afterwards, we'll get our Spartans and Forge into position. Now, the Covenant outpost will have 3 turrets, 2 barracks that are under construction. To destroy this outpost, we need to position our units precisely. This positioning will ensure that we will only get attacked by 2 of the turrets and with 1 Spartan assigned to each turret, while keeping Alice and Douglas in range to attack. Here's how we will position our Spartans and Forge. You see this random lamppost? Yes, this ram lamppost is the key to our entire strategy for location 2. And if it wasn't for these lampposts, we want to have a consistent way of setting up our strategy, along with the little squares they have on the floor. Those are also very important as well. Our first step will be placing Alice diagonally from the lamppost so that she's within attack range while only being targeted by the closest turret. Next, we'll position Douglas. He'll stand in the square just below Alice, making sure he's centered in that square. This will put him within range of the second turret, drawing its fire while avoiding the third turret. Finally, Jerome, who is equipped with the Spartan laser, will stand behind Alice and Douglas alongside Forge, since they were still in attack range, but we want to keep them out of harm's way, especially Forge, whose damage is permanent. will take control of Douglas, move him after each attack to skip the reload animation, and let him attack immediately. This strategy gives us the damage output needed to take down all 3 turrets and 2 barracks. Once the turrets and barracks have been destroyed, a spirit dropship will deploy a hunter, which roams full shields. You'll be able to solo with the hunters. Once everything has been cleared out and our Spartans are backed up, we'll move all of our Spartans and Forge to Rhino 1. For when we move Rhino 2 into position, spirit dropships will come and start attacking Rhino 1. We have enough firepower to destroy these spirit dropships before they deploy their units. There are 5 spirit dropships in total on the initial attack. Now if one spirit isn't destroyed, it's not end of the world, but ideally we will try to destroy all 4 spirit. Once we destroy the 4 spirit dropships, we'll move our Spartans to location 4 and Forge to a very specific area where barracks will be built once Rhino 3 hits its location. At location 4, a barracks and factory will be constructed, and 2 locusts will spawn. We'll have Alice and Jerome positioned right next to the spawn point of these locusts, and have them hijack the locusts. Once the cutscene plays, we'll enter the final phase of the mission. Forge will destroy the Covenant barracks. We'll use Alice and Jerome to hijack these locusts and have Douglas take out the Covenant bases. We will also gain the vision of the 3 Covenant turrets at location 5 with Forge, allowing our hijacked locusts to target the turrets. A fun fact, the locusts can actually outrange everything in this mission. Once we destroy the Covenant turrets and the factory at location 5, we'll move our army back to location 4 to clear out any units that were dropped by the Spirit dropship. For the last location, we'll do a final push with our army taking the hits for the Rhino. As long as our Rhino doesn't get destroyed here, we are in the clear. Once all 5 Rhinos are in position and none have been destroyed, the final cutscene will trigger. And that's how you beat Dome of Light on Legendary difficulty without using supply pads. The mission I once thought was impossible has just become possible. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't watched the full run, you can click here to watch the full run. If you want to see the other challenge runs I have done, you can click here. Until next time, stay awesome.